And we are live. Hello there, boys and girls, cats and dogs. We are an inclusive channel. And this is another one of my not exactly spontaneous lives, but they're not really scheduled that far in advance. Usually it's the morning of when I decide, oh, I think I'll go live today. But here I am because I like to go live. I might have my eyes down because I'm working on something as I'm talking. I'm trying to sew in a whole bunch of loose ends. Um, but hey, Cami. But yeah. I hope everyone is well. I hope we get more people coming along. Whenever I do this on Friday, I do it at 4 o'clock, and then at 5 o'clock we go over and raid Granny D. Because she's always live at 5 on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And so I don't know what's going on, Cami. Looks like you're. Oh, now we have two people here. Hi, hi. So what's going on? Tell me what's going on. So, well, let me show you what I am working on. This is a giant triangle shawl. It's not exactly the dimensions I had hoped, but I still think it looks good. It's a little bit lopsided. Um, but I'm sewing in loose ends, then I'm going to put a border around it. Um, and I will have a pattern up soon. It's really very easy, actually. Most of my patterns are really very easy. So, you're knitting a dishcloth. Someone was talking about there's like some sort of a dishcloth project going on for the first week of October, and I was looking for the hashtag and I couldn't find the hashtag. It's not dishcloth, it might be washcloth. I don't remember exactly what it was. I mean, I could find it if I needed to right away, but I couldn't remember the hashtag, and so I really wasn't able to talk like an intelligent person about it. But really, it's sort of a make along where you make your own washcloths or dishcloths during this first week of October. There are like no prizes, there are no patterns that you need to follow. You just do what you want, and it's a sort of a fun project. Hello, Stella, or Sheila, sorry. Oh, thank you for the thumbs up. So, Cami, I saw it on Instagram. So, and okay, let me just, I'm sewing in one loose end right now. You know, when you start and finish a row with a different color with every row, you have a lot of loose ends. And this was a whole bunch of single crochet rows. But I like the way it turned out, so I'm not mad. Okay, now I'm going to look for that Instagram hashtag. Okay, the hashtag is crochet dishcloth. I will enter it in the chat. Hey, Daniel. Hey, Gina. Also, I'm going to put the link in the chat for people who want to come up. So anyway, I was just talking about what seems to be a washcloth or a dishcloth project on Instagram that's just for like the first week of October. Can you believe it's October? Wow. And it's I just put up the hashtag, and if you just in Instagram, if you look for that hashtag, you would probably find it also on Facebook, but I don't know for sure. It's not like a contest, it's just a project for fun, to see how many dishcloths people can do. You know, there are no prizes, nothing except the fun of doing it. So, but a number of people have mentioned recently that they're doing dishcloths and washcloths and that sort of thing. So I wanted to mention it. So, let's see.
Hello.
Hey, what's going on?
Nothing.
Yeah, me too. So I just thought I'd come on today and have a little fun. What to do that little bit? Have a little fun. Daniel, you want to come up? I'd sure like it if you did.
I'm actually using a smaller needle than I normally do.
Oh yeah? Why is that? Just to get a
I don't.
fabric?
Yeah. Normally I use a 5 millimeter, and I went down half a needle size.
Hmm.
I kind of like the way it looks.
Since I do mostly shawls and go for like a drapey effect, um, I I often use a hook that is larger than what's recommended for the yarn that I'm using. I sort of like that.
Yeah. Normally I for dishcloths I use a 5 millimeter.
Uh-huh. What kind of yarn are you using there?
Lily sugar and cream.
Okay, yeah. That's good for like dishcloths and things.
Yeah.
Hey Frenchie.
Hi, Frenchie.
So I don't know why. So Daniel, your shop update is very soon, isn't it?
Yeah, he goes on it right after Granny D at 6.
Oh, it's today.
Yeah.
I don't know why I can't afford to buy anything. Last weekend I bought so much yarn. But it's all beautiful stuff and I can't wait to use it. So anyway, yep, that's my story and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, I told my mom today. I said I want to change it up, this month for um, yarn shopping.
Mm-hmm.
Because normally we go to Joann's and the Goodwill store I
Mm-hmm.
volunteer at. The Michaels is right across the street.
Mm-hmm.
So where it's located, we'll use Goodwill as the main point.
Mm-hmm.
Joann's is to the left, and the next parking lot over, and then the Michaels is across the street.
Oh wow.
Like almost directly across the street.
Our Joann's and Michael's are in different parts of town. Um, Although Michael's is pretty close to the Goodwill store. I was at Goodwill yesterday. That's where I got this shirt. I like thrift shopping. I can't do retail anymore. I can't. It just hurts me to see retail prices when I
It
can
does.
get perfectly good clothes at thrift shops.
But like
So I.
certain stuff in the wares, it's like I swear they I found a pan like 2 weeks ago. It was like 19.99 at the Goodwill store, where you could buy that.
19
Yeah, and you
at
could
the
buy this.
Goodwill store. Wow.
Yeah, and you could have bought the same one for like $10 cheaper at like Kohl's.
We don't have that store here. What is that? What kind of store is it?
It's kind of like a clothing store.
You mean Kohl's?
Yeah,
Kohl?
yeah,
Okay, yeah, we have that here. That's a department store. So
yeah.
what you're saying that it is that for that one item, the price at Goodwill was higher than it would have been retail, brand new.
Yeah, and that's a lot of not the clothing so as much, but the wares, like the
Oh, house.
glasses
Yeah,
and the pots. And
I got 4 shirts, one of which looked to be brand new, never ever worn. Plus a basket that I'm going to use, that I'm already using as a project basket, and a little kitty book, all for like $23 at the Goodwill. So that's not so bad.
no, and people always, like, why is everything so high? And I said, I'm just a volunteer, so if you want me to, I can go get the, ladies, and you can ask them why they price it so high. I said, I have
Well,
no idea. I have no say why the prices are so high.
exactly. It's not your choice.
Right. I said,
But
or better,
at the
I said,
same,
better,
go ahead.
like, better yet, I know the CEO of the company personally, and I can, get his email address for you or his line, and you can ask him to see if he knows why everything is so high here.
Actually, I would think it would be good management for um, them to prepare you when customers ask that kind of question.
Yeah.
Because if they're going to set prices like that, they have to be prepared. So, but then good management and retail, sort of like a contradiction of terms, isn't it?
Yep. And then, they look at me and say, oh, why isn't this priced? And I'm like, and, it makes you think like they don't have a brain. I'm like, when you go and check out, usually you just ask the price, and a lot of the time it'll be a lot less than what it would have been priced if you ask. Because I've done that multiple times. I'll ask.
And well, at my Goodwill stores, there are several in town. There's a big chart on the wall with you know, all the shirts are this price, all the blazers are this price, all the shoes are this price. So
Well, like the wares, it's not like that, but like the clothes, you go, let's say, to the men's active wear,
mm-hmm.
and it'll say, let's say $3.99 and up, or like men's shorts $4.99 and up.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the price. But where's a lot of the time they will try to put a sticker on it, but sometimes they just don't. And
Well,
I
I
know
would
every
think that
customer
the
is going
stuff,
to ask.
yeah, I'm thinking the stuff that's probably going to move so fast that they don't really, and the staff are so busy that,
Right.
you know, that, oh, hey, Kate, glad to see
Hey,
you.
Kate.
I would think that, especially when the prices are posted on the wall, that I would think putting individual stickers on each item is not all that big a priority.
Right. And the one lady,
Call me crazy if you will. Well, there are lots of reasons to do that, but
the one
um,
lady who does it the most, she's there early. She not only does other than tagging the wares, she also moves uh stuff around. She'll move boxes and put them in the truck on the truck. She'll move stuff, go out to the donations, bring stuff in, put it in the back, move it around, and she rotates the stuff. So she's not only doing that, just tagging in people. Just the other day, some lady asked me, "Is like, is she gonna bring out another cart?" And I said, "Probably." I said she does other things besides just tag. So it may take. 1 to 2 hours for her to get an entire cart filled. Because the gray carts, there's great, they use gray carts, and each one has, I think, like three, I believe it's three different shelves, and they're quite long, so it takes them forever to fill them all up.
Well, yeah. And honestly, while on the one hand you're there to help the customers, you're not there to be their personal servants.
Right. And this one guy, he's a flat out jerk, and he comes in to get records to go out and sell. He'll resell them. And he's like, "Do you have anything and any more records in the back?" And I said, "I have no idea." And I continued on working. And under his breath, I heard him say, I didn't catch the whole thing, but I did catch, you know, something about a stupid volunteer.
Well,
And I was the
you
only
know what?
volunteer there at the time. So I had a couple of toys in my hand, and I went right up to the manager and told him.
Yeah.
Or her. And she's like, "Don't listen to him." She's like, "I'll tell Angela." So then Angela was in the next day, and I told her, and she goes, "Don't listen to that." She's like, "He's a jerk.
There are lots
Don't
of
listen to
jerks
him."
out there, and
Yeah.
it's easy to let them bother you. Believe
And I
me,
said, "I
I
didn't."
know, but
Yeah. I said, "I just went, that's all I heard was blank, stupid volunteer," under his breath. And she's like, "You are the best thing that's ever happened to us." She's like, "Don't listen to anybody. Don't let them tell you you're horrible or this and that." She goes, "You have been a big relief to us. Even if it's just 3 days a week for 4 hours. It's
hmm
been a tremendous relief on us."
well, I
She's like,
can easily believe that
"Yeah."
because I would imagine you to be that kind of volunteer. I mean,
And
do you get paid for this work, or is it strictly volunteer?
strictly volunteer.
Okay. So
And
yeah, I mean, that's even more
yeah.
admirable.
And nowadays, since there's a group of kids, school kids that come, and their first lunch, if there's like four kids, two of them will eat lunch at 11:30. Then two of them, it'll be like 11:30 to 12, and then 12 to 12:30, and then that group comes out and works until 1, and then they go back to school. So I've been taking my lunch at 11, and I get there about 9:50, and I'll go chit chat with the ladies in the back for a minute, and then go straight out to work and work from 10 to 11 without even taking a break, and then sit down for 15 to 20 minutes and eat my lunch, and then
I'd
go right back
almost,
to work.
I'd almost rather have a very late lunch than a very early one.
And for the first 3 weeks, I ended up eating it at like 12:30, and then there was a sale one day, so I ended up eating it at 12, and then that stayed for a long time. And then this lady, she's just absolutely mean. You
Yeah, there are mean
and
people out there.
and she works there in retail. And it's like, okay, why are you so mean yet you work in retail? I'm sitting there. She asked a question. This is a perfect example. So I go to a guy that I know wouldn't know the answer to said question. So I go right back and report to her, and she's like, "You're distracting me from my work."
Well, you
So,
know what? You can't control them.
and by
You
that
can
point, I was
only
already eating
control
at
what you
11:30.
do.
Yeah, at
Sorry?
11:30. By that point, I was already eating at 11:30, because I did, because where I would sit, her locker's on the other side of me. So
Hey,
I
Starla.
wanted to. Hi, Starla. So I wanted her to, have enough room to get in. But she's mean.
Well, let her be.
And then
It's
on
not
top
your
of that, she's
business
stupid.
to. What?
She's stupid.
Let her be that too.
Because, she pulls clothes. and she'll bring out a cart to, little rack to put her hangers on, and this lady is right where the hangers go. So she'll put the hangers right there in front of her rack, so she can't move it.
You know what? I mean, it's easy to get aggravated,
Yeah.
and life is full of those things. But
And so
and
one day I told the manager on duty, and she's like, "Well, can you, she's like, Cameron, just go up and kindly ask Amy to move them." So I did. And I said, Amy, and I said, Teresa would like you to move the racks, the rack of carts, or the rack of hangers you left in front of Annette's workstation. And she's like, what hangers? I didn't leave no hangers in front of Annette's workstation. And I said, well, if you walk back to where the hangers are supposed to go, you'll see them. So could you please kindly go move them? Heard the boss's orders. And I said, don't take it out on me. I said, don't shoot the messenger. And I walked away.
You really can't control anyone else, but you can that as well. But you can control how you react to them.
Yeah.
So
I was as calm as a cucumber telling her.
Well, anyway, moving right along. So the dog was barking at something just now out the front door. He likes to look out the front door, and he protects us from, people who walk past without even looking at the house, because he's just that kind of a good watchdog. So anyway, what else is going on? Anybody else want to come up? Sure. I'm trying to sew in loose ends as we speak.
I don't mind sewing in the ends.
Well, I sort of get into a rhythm. I dread it, but if I just do it, it's not so bad.
What I've been doing on like my Afghans, what I've been doing lately, I'll show you. So this is my granny square blanket, and here's a perfect example. The string broke, the yarn broke.
Mm-hmm.
So because I have wheels on my chair, and it got caught in the wheels. So I
hate that.
Yeah, so I kind of just looped it around, and then pulled the two tails through, and tightened it, and then so I'll work over it for like a couple of shells, and then the next time around I'll go. You can see it, kind of see it here. I went over them again, from the row below.
Yeah.
And that that kind of secures it, and then I'll go back around it when I get quite a few. I'll sit there and weave them in.
That's a good way to join yarn if you are like at the end of a skein or a ball, and you're like in the middle of a row or something. I just dropped my scissors.
And then, like if it's let's say just like a single crochet row, or single crochet, I'll do this kind of the same thing and then work over it until there's quite a good chunk gone, and then when I'm done, I'll sit there and sew it in even more, so I know for a fact it ain't gonna come undone.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's like there are two reasons to do it. One is to make sure it doesn't come undone, but also another is to just hide them. So,
and it's a good
Hey,
thing for like.
Doris.
Hi, Doris. It's a good thing like for bags and baskets
Hmm.
that we crochet because it one when you single crochet over it, and it's a tight stitch, and it'll hold it down, but then you sew it in, and it's just like another backup.
Hmm. Yeah, exactly. And if I like to join that way if I'm like doing a large panel that's all
Yeah,
one color or all one yarn, um, then it's easy to join it that way rather than trying to tie some sort of fancy knot.
I still haven't figured that those like magic joins or the Russian join where you sit there and take your a sharp needle and put one thread it through and then kind of split this end and go like this and split it and then it'll tie itself and then you go back with the other one and do it that way.
Yeah,
I,
I'm not much
I
interested
I've
in the
not been
Russian.
able. I
Yeah,
think I'd need someone here, right here with me, showing me and take my hands and guide me on how to do it or show me in
yeah.
person because I can't figure it out.
I'm not much interested in the Russian join, but the magic knot I use quite a lot. Um, and you're supposed to, when you use the magic knot, to trim the loose ends a lot more tightly. Hey, freehand made, a lot more tightly than I usually do. Um,
Let me see.
but I just do what I do, and it
Yeah,
seems to work.
I made my cousin Linda some baskets for her camper, and this was before I left the tails on. I made her the baskets, and I would knot it, put the loop, and then pull the tails through and snip the yarn. The
Hmm.
first we go to vacation, the first words out of her mouth. You couldn't have figured a better way to join the yarn. All I see are those horde knots.
Well, that's not very nice.
And I kept my mouth shut, but in my mind, I'm like, okay, why the hell didn't you crochet them?
Okay,
I,
that's
I,
the
I could have,
last gift you ever get from me.
yeah. And like right after that, I made her like a little lapkin, and I said, I said, I after that, forget it.
Oh no, she wouldn't even get that from me. In fact,
It
she
was
would
kind of like
probably have gotten a comment like, "Well, I will no longer burden you with my substandard crochet output again. I am so sorry to have caused you this trouble, because I can be a little snarky when I want to."
oh yeah. And
So,
my mom could kind of tell I was going to say something, and you know how mothers are that she gave me the death stare, like don't you say a word.
eh,
But I wasn't even going to. I bit my tongue.
probably better in the end. I still would have said something biting. Um,
Yeah, when my mom wasn't looking, I was going to pull her out and tell her something, but I didn't.
yeah, he probably wouldn't have won in the end. Wouldn't have gained anything.
Yeah,
That's the thing. I mean,
and
even
get
if
this.
even if you got like some momentary satisfaction
Yeah,
in the
you'll regret
end,
it at the end.
even if
She,
you even if you don't necessarily regret it, you still don't gain.
right? She one day she was here at the house, and I must have said something wrong in her mind to my mother. So I told her to text me when she got home. So I said, "Are you home?" And she goes, "No. Don't ever contact me again through Facebook. Whatever. You said what something mean to your mom, and I don't like that." I said, "Okay, whatever." So I deleted her contact and I blocked her on Facebook. And I'm thinking, this is coming to the lady from the lady who I said, "You believe in, honor thy mother so well." How long has it been since you talked to your own mother? Really? You're
Well,
gonna complain to me about honor thy mother when it's been, let's see, what, 50 years since you haven't talked to yours?
that's
What's wrong with
another
that?
thing that's not going to gain you anything. So just,
It's like she was so big in honor thy mother when she hadn't
it
talked to hers.
doesn't really matter. She wants to be shed of you, and you obliged. So
But now,
you're,
then, like 6 months later, she emailed me, or like 2 weeks later, she emailed me.
and
She's like, I hadn't talked to your mom in 20 blah blah years, and I'm like, gee, my from whence I heard, you didn't want to talk to my mom because she had 2 kids. She had two
well,
young kids, and you didn't want to be bothered by that. So
none
it's not
none
my
of the
fault.
details really matter. She asked you to go away, and you did, and then she came crawling, or it sounds like she.
Yeah, she came crawling back, saying this and that and the other about, not talking to my mom. And I'm thinking, okay.
You know what? Anytime anybody tries to justify an action, just let them talk and then walk away because
Yeah.
you do not owe them anything.
And then she comes over the next time and expects me to apologize. And I said, I looked really at her and I said, for what? I said, the last time you said something that I said to my mom and you didn't even tell me. So I said, something, I'm not apologizing to you.
I wouldn't have spoken to her at all.
And I didn't. That's what I said to her. And I walked right away and went to my room and minded my own business. She's mean. My mom said she's been like that her whole life.
Well, anyway, let's talk about puppies. Um, okay. Anybody else want to come up? Actually, yeah, let's not talk about mean people anymore.
And I think it's just you catch her in a mood.
Let's not talk about mean people anymore.
What are you having for dinner?
Oh, probably leftovers.
I had that for lunch. We had
So did I.
spaghetti. Well, I did. And then I had my dad put blueberries in a little cup of David. Those blueberries were like that big.
Nice.
They were huge. And tonight's my favorite day of the week.
What is that?
Pizza.
Ah.
Frida. Friday is like our pizza night. It's the one day a week my dad doesn't have to cook. But I call it our eat anywhere meal because my dad will go out to the living room and eat and watch TV. I'll come in here and watch YouTube and eat.
Actually, I do that with every meal. I bring it in here. But
Looks like your bruise on your foreheads with your yarn fight is getting better.
yeah. Actually, someone told me that I should use this story that ninjas attacked me in the parking lot of Joann's.
Oh yeah. What I've alluded to nowadays, if my yarn gets tangled, I say it just had a fight with itself.
So let's see. Is anybody else saying anything?
Not really.
I'm sorry that I'm not paying attention to the chat.
And in this washcloth, I actually left quite a bit of tail this time. It's when I do the long tail cast on for knitting, and the last couple of dishcloths I've done, I've left a really short tail. It's when you do that, it's like so hard to judge.
Okay.
See, this is the last one I just did. It's kind of hard to judge.
Well, whatever it is, you can still sew it in.
Yeah, because when you crochet, all you do is just leave a little bit of a tail to sew in, and just chain. But with the when you knit and you use long tail cast on, you got to leave not only enough tail to cast on the stitches, but enough tail at the end to weave in.
Yeah, I still don't understand knitting, and that's okay.
I can do purling, but I just don't care for it.
Yep, yep, yep.
Because when you do purling, you gotta start with like a couple of garter rows, which is just knit back and forth, and then leave like one or at least two stitches at the least on each end, because it tends to curl like Tunisian crochet.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I didn't make the announcements that I normally make at the top of the hour, so I should do it now. First, of course, I do not say this enough, but I am totally, totally thankful to everybody who subscribes, everybody who joins either on YouTube or Patreon. People have sent me wonderful gifts in yarn and in cash, and I am just humbled and grateful, and I think it's wonderful. Um, I also usually I talk about my schedule. This is a Friday. Friday is, whatever I feel like doing. Saturdays I usually don't post anything. Sundays I usually have poetry. Mondays I have an interview. I call it my Monday Men because it's always men in yarn. Tuesdays I have Topic Tuesdays. Wednesday, which is live. That's at 2 o'clock Eastern. Wednesdays I have Wednesday Free for All, which is live at 6 p.m. And Thursdays I usually don't post anything, but sometimes I do. Um, so that's my schedule. I want to mention that I have Ravelry patterns and my table is wobbling. I also have merch. I have moved my merch over to Teespring. It's no longer on Etsy. There is a link in my About page. There is a link in the description to my Linktree page where you can find every single one of my links. Let's see what else. Well, that's pretty much it. Those are my top of the hour announcements that I didn't do this time. But there we are. So, gosh, trying to put this single crochet border on at the ends of these single crochet rows, and boy, did I crochet those tight.
I'm back.
I figured you were. But anyway, yep, I'm doing this border. So, sorry?
I had heartburn, and I went to go get it.
Ooh,
My dad was in the bathroom.
I have heartburn all the time.
Yeah,
Especially, I have like a daily thing that I take in the morning, and if I neglect to take that, I regret it.
I don't get it
Um,
often, but when I do, I'm technically not supposed to take antacid with one of the medicines I'm on
hmm
for my ADHD. But you know how some days you get that like really bad heartburn in your throat that just won't go away. The
It's
milk wouldn't
acid,
do it.
yeah, acid reflux. I get that, and when I'm in bed, I cannot lie down flat when that is going on because of
Uncle
the
Joe's
acid
here.
reflux. What?
Uncle
Oh,
Joe's
hey,
here,
Joe. Glad to see you.
and
Yeah,
so
we were just pretty much schmoozing and talking about acid reflux and
yeah,
heartburn
so
and
I alluded to taking Tums,
uh-huh.
and sometimes what I do if it's really bad, I'll get two of them, and the first one I'll completely chew, and then the next one I'll just bite off a little piece and chew it, and then bite off another little piece and chew it until it's all gone. Hi, Leanne.
Leanne, yay! So here is the link again. I'd love to see you up here, Leanne.
You feeling any better, Leanne?
So even as we speak, I'm trying to add a single crochet border at the ends of single crochet rows that are a little tighter than I might have meant them to be.
I do my crochet borders like for single crochet. I do them
Uh-huh.
weird. Where is it? So on the like down on the rows. Where is it? Right here. So like the single crochet, I'll put in a stitch. I'll piece it together there, and there'll be two loops on my hook and one on the bottom, and then I'll single crochet, and then go to the row below and single crochet, and I'll do that all the way down on both sides.
So basically you put one single crochet at the end of every single crochet row. Is that what
Yep.
you're saying, or something different?
Each single crochet row on both sides will get two single crochets. One into the side of the single crochet, and then one in the row. And then the next one on the side of the single crochet, because I basically bisect this bottom of the single crochet, so there's two loops on my hook.
So doesn't that cause the border to ripple?
No.
Interesting.
I'll show you.
Well, I believe you, but
see.
Well, it looks like it works.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it makes it even. It makes it even.
Mm-hmm.
But I crochet tight. That's why if I show like single crochet stuff, it kind of curls. I have tight tension. But when I knit, I have loose tension.
No.
Because just the way I hold my yarn.
Yeah.
So how are you doing, Leanne?
I'm fine.
How's your throat?
Huh?
How is your throat?
Oh, my throat's okay. It's fine.
You sound better.
Yeah, I still have a cough that's just lingering. And
Yeah.
I get those, yeah.
I don't know why. It just won't go away.
It's probably the postnasal drip that is so hard to get rid of.
Yeah, probably so. It does tingle. Go down there. Hey, Karen.
Hey, Karen.
Oh, hi,
Yesterday
Karen.
I had no voice whatsoever. None.
This cough is kind of lingered from February of last year. For some reason, I got like extremely sick in February of last year.
Mm-hmm.
And I just kept, hacking, and I'd lie down to go to bed and I couldn't even breathe.
Yeah.
I would cough so much.
Did you go to the doctor?
No. But, it was weird. It started like right around February 14th and it went until the end of February and like the first couple of days of March. And I started feeling better. Then my mom got sick with the same exact thing.
Yeah.
And we actually, believe it or not, we actually think it was Rona, but we never got tested.
No, I don't think it is. On me, no.
It was just
I'd be a lot worse than I am now. I've not ran any fever or anything like that.
No, neither of us did.
Huh?
We didn't run a fever either.
No, I haven't. I can still taste or anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we couldn't even, I didn't feel better until after the workshop had reopened.
Uh-huh.
And we were still going to the Goodwill store, and the staff who took us is like, "Are you?" Because at that point I was hacking. He's like, "Are you sure you want to go?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And he's like, "I'm sitting there on the post that is support beam with one piece of clothing still on the hanger, and I'm sitting there hacking to death."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Are you sure?" The next day I come in and I said to Dwayne, I should have listened to you and stayed here. He was like, I warned you.
See, and the cough is in my throat. That's all it
Oh.
is. It's not in my lungs. It's right here in my throat.
That's kind of like the cough I got right now.
So it's not in my lungs. It's not nowhere else in my throat. So
That's kind of
I think that's in your bronchial tubes. Is that where the bronchial tubes go? Or
yeah.
I usually get bronchitis once a year.
I kind of get, like a bronchial cough.
Yeah, usually once a year I end up with bronchitis.
Yeah, I've always had coughs that would never go away. That were caused by like drainage. But then one year I learned what real bronchitis was, because it really is just an infection in the bronchial tubes. And boy, howdy did I feel awful bad, because it was a real infection that needed like real antibiotics and lots of rest. Whereas the other stuff, it was just the drainage that was causing the cough. And my sister, who was a nurse for many years, and of course she has the sort of like a Marine. It's like once a nurse, always a nurse, even though she's retired now. So she would always tell me to take a cough suppressant, which would just stop me from coughing, but leave the drainage. And then I would go, well, hey, Denisha. Then I would wonder, well, where was all of that stuff going? And she would say, it's going to go in your stomach. It does anyway already. So, and sometimes nowadays I get so much drainage that, I'll like, in the morning I'll be like dry heaving because of the all of the crap in my throat and my stomach with all of that drainage. Yeah. Not
the last couple of days I've woken up, my nose, it's like it's filled, and I just sit there and blow, and it releases it, and it just starts running and running, and I'm like in the middle of making my bed, and after, because I've got 3 sheets, a fleece blanket, and then a cotton blanket, and then a polyester one, and then a Afghan I just put on top, and in between each layer, I have to stop and flip over my bed to get a Kleenex to blow my nose. So it takes me like half an hour, some days 20 minutes to make my bed in the morning during the week.
That might be how I fell out of bed last week.
How didn't No, when I first got the cold, I got stopped up. I was stopped up, couldn't breathe, stopped up, my nose. Now I'm unstopped because that stuff that you hold up one side and the water comes out the other?
Like a neti pot, yeah.
Yeah, okay, I got that, and it's unstopped that side. And I done it over here. It unstopped me. Oh boy, did it!
Like you can get it with a squirt bottle instead of the
bottle.
pot that looks like a
I did the bottle.
Flower pot. Yeah, I like that a lot better. And I've used it before.
Yeah, I did that's what I did, is the bottle. And what's so funny, because I was stopped up, it was coming out of my mouth, and I thought I was going to drown.
Yeah.
But I got it all out.
There's this ginger tea I buy on Amazon, and I swear, like if I have it, because I haven't gotten it in a couple of years, but when I did have it, I'd boil, put it in the microwave to heat up the water, and it's just a sachet of crystals. And when you're done, you pour it in your cup and kind of give it a quick stir. And I swear I'd just inhale. I'd put it like this to my nose if it was stopped up, and like that. It's like as if you sniffed hot sauce.
Now, when you were kids, did your mom use Vicks Vapor Rub or the Vicks Vapor Rub inhalers?
Oh yeah, I got one of those right now.
Those things work. Now, I haven't had a real cold in a long time. I just get a lot of drainage all the time.
We didn't have the inhaler, but what she did was, rub the Vicks on her chest and, kind of like right here in the bridge.
On your upper lip. So
right here. In the middle of the nose and in the, in the crease of your mustache right there.
There's a
Yep.
name for that little
Yeah,
What you
little
call
place
it?
in your upper lip, and I can't
and
remember
that's
what
what she
that
did.
name
A quick
is.
sash
Yeah.
there and a quick flick. She kind of got enough to go from here
Right here.
to
Yeah.
here.
But
And
if your nose
and-
is sore from rubbing your nose, that salve will
Or
take
from
that
blowing your
soreness
nose
out.
with tissues.
Yeah.
oh yeah, I'll put that. I'll purposely, like, if my nose is running, I'll purposely take enough and trace the entire, the M of my nose.
Uh-huh.
Then put a little bit right here, and I can't even get to my room. I'll be in the bathroom and I barely even do that, or like eczema because of the eucalyptus.
Yeah, that's
I'll
that
put
camphor in
it
it.
right
Yeah.
there,
Oh yeah.
and kind of like right here on the crown of my nose, right here on the bottom of my bridge,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can just feel it like going. It kind of stings, and I can't even get to the toilet paper fast enough. It's like it all comes. Like,
I go through, all the time. I'm always draining, and I go through boxes of tissues like you wouldn't
oh yeah, so do
believe.
I. In 2 weeks, in about 2 weeks, I can go through half of the box I already have in my room, and then another whole entire box. So within like about 2 to 2.5 weeks, I can go through a box and a half of tissue.
Yeah, I haven't
People wouldn't
measured
have-
it, but I go through them pretty quickly too. Yeah.
Oh yeah, so do I.
Stock up on them.
Yeah. So it's about 10 minutes to 5, and we're all going to go over and see Granny D at 5. So I'm going to call it a day pretty soon. If there's somebody in the room who could post a link to Granny D, I keep meaning to add. Hold on. I do have it in Nightbot. Hold on. Okay, I have to have the cursor in the box. Okay. Let's see if that works. Hey, Julie.
Hi, Julie.
Julie, we're just about to break up because in a minute we're going to go over to see Granny D. And there we are. There's Granny D's link. Yay! Nightbot is our friend. Except for when I forget to disable things like that one about a discount that expired on September 30th. But anyway, I'm so glad everybody was here. Thanks for coming up on the panel. And
pleasure.
thanks for everybody who's in the room. And how are we doing on thumbs up?
I see. Hang on. I got to refresh mine. I see 12.
Oh, that's not so bad since we only have 7 in the room right now.
Yeah,
Oh,
and plus
right.
I forgot to thumbs up, so now you got 13.
Thank you so much.
You're
Anyway,
welcome.
I'm going to let everybody go. And for everybody in the room, thank you for coming, and like, share, comment, subscribe, and keep coming back. All the standard YouTube crap. And I'm going to click end now. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Bye.